So hi everyone, this is Raj. In my last video, I discussed about the thermal velocity and drift velocity. And in this video, I will be discussing about the mobility of the charge carriers within a semiconductor. So I will at first define the mobility. So mobility is actually how fast charge carriers are moving inside semiconductor in presence of external electric field, and it is defined as mu equal to Vd by E, where Vd is the drift velocity. What is drift velocity? Drift velocity is the velocity at which the charge carriers are moving in presence of that external electric field. That velocity is known as drift velocity, and it is defined as minus q e tau divided by m star. If you know the formula, then there is no problem. If you don't know the formula, you can check my last video where I discussed about the drift velocity in very detailed manner, and this is proven there, so you can go and check it out. Where tau is equal to average relaxation time, and m star is the effective mass of charge carriers. So if we define mu equal to Vd by E is equal to minus q tau divided by m star. So if we are dealing with the mobility of electrons, then we can write me star, because me star is the effective mass of electron, and if we are talking about the mobility due to mobility of holes, then we can write mp star, which is the effective mass of holes. So up to this, I guess everything is clear. So right now I will be discussing the drift velocity versus electric field plot. If we plot the drift velocity of carriers of semiconductor against the electric field that is applied across the semiconductor, then the graph will be something like this. Up to 10 to the power 3 volt per meter, this is linear region. Up to 10 to the power 4, from 10 to the power 3 to up to 10 to the power 4 volt per meter, this is sublinear region, and beyond this 10 to the power 4 to 10 to the power 7 electron volt, this is saturated region. So if we increase the electric field, so of course the free electrons that are present in the semiconductor, they will get more and more pull due to the electric field, so they will feel more and more attractive force, so they will move faster and faster. So of course, if we increase the electric field at first, I mean up to this level, the drift velocity increases linearly. But why not it is why not the curve is monotonically increasing? Why there is a saturation point? Why the drift velocity is saturated beyond the value of 10 to the power 4 volt per meter? So there is an explanation for that. That is, if we apply an electric field that is greater than 10 to the power 4 volt per meter, then actually we are applying an enormous amount of energy to the silicon crystals. It is a very high value of electric field. So if we think of the lattice structure, if this is an unit cell of silicon, then suppose this is a immobile positive ion and this is a free electron. This is one immobile positive ion, this is one electron. Suppose this is one immobile charge carrier and this is one free electron. So if we are applying any electric field that is having a very high value, then getting this high amount of energy, the lattice points will also get started their vibrational motion. I mean to say that these immobile charge carriers which are bounded with the crystal structure, they will also start vibrating. How they will vibrate? Suppose this is one immobile charge carrier, this is one free electron. So how will they vibrate? They will at first come closer to each other, then they will go far from each other, and this motion will be continued, and this is how the lattice points will vibrate. They will become unstable at their position and they will get vibrate. So these covalent bonds will behave like a spring, and the ions will at first come closer and then they will go far from each other. So this type of lateral vibrational motion will be seen within the crystal of silicon atom. If we apply this enormous amount of energy in the silicon solid. So what is the effect of this? What is the result of this phenomena? So at first, when we were applying a small value of electric field, then the electrons were suppose moving in this direction and they were moving through the interatomic distances. But as right now the lattice points are vibrating itself, so this is that is why the interatomic distance will get reduced and the electrons, the lattice point will come in the path of the electrons for their vibrational motion. So that is why the electron will get more and more number of collision. So of course the tau, the relaxation time will reduce, and that means the mobility will also reduce. So what happens is if we increase the value of the electric field, then these lattice points will start vibrating and they will come in the path of the free electrons and they will reduce the interatomic space. So the electron will make their collisions very rapidly. So the average relaxation time will reduce and then of course the mobility will reduce, because mobility is the measure how fast the electrons are moving. So electrons, the motion of the electrons are getting slow, it is getting slowed down, so of course the mobility is getting reduced here. So of course the Vd will also reduce, the drift velocity will also reduce. So this is why after the value of, after the mark of 10 to the power 4 volt per meter, the Vd, the drift velocity, doesn't increase anymore, it gets decreased and it follow a saturated line. Now from this plot we will try to plot the mobility versus electric field. So this is 10 to the power 3, 10 to the power 4, and this is 10 to the power 7. So as we can see that within 10 to the the region from 0 to 10 to the power 3, the Vd is Vd by E, that means the slope is constant, and that Vd by E is equal to mu. That means the slope is constant, that means the mu has a constant value. Then this is region 1. In case of region 2, okay, at first I will talk about the region 3, where the Vd is constant, because the drift velocity gets saturated, so it becomes constant. That means now mu is equal to some constant value divided by E. It means mu E is equal to constant. It looks like the locus equation of rectangular hyperbola. The locus equation of rectangular hyperbola is xy equal to c. Rectangular hyperbola. And in case of second region, for the sublinear region, it is a sublinear region and it actually follows the equation like Vd is equal to k root E. This is the equation for sublinear region. Vd equal to some constant into root over E. So of course if we put the value here, then k root E divided by E, and it becomes k by root E. So if we plot this relation mu equal to k by root E, then it will look like something like this. It will look like a parabola. So here the mu is constant, here the mu varies with inversely proportional with the root under electric field, and here in region 3 it is following the locus of rectangular hyperbola, so it looks like something like this. So here mu is inversely proportional with E. So this is the mobility versus electric field curve for a semiconductor. Now I will write the mobility value for electron and holes at room temperature. Sometimes it is needed to visualize some problems. So we just need to remember these two values. One is at 300 Kelvin temperature, the nu n, that means the mobility of electrons is 1300 semi square divided by voltage into second. So the unit is very important here, and the mobility of holes is 500 semi square divided by voltage into second. So as you can see, the mobility of electron is more or less 2.5 times of mobility of holes. So that is why for this actually we can see the current due to electron in a semiconductor is almost 60 7% of the total current of the semiconductor, and the current due to holes in a semiconductor is almost 33% of the total current of the semiconductor. So if we talk about the temperature dependency, then if we increase the temperature of silicon crystal, then of course the at first the mobility will get increased, because we are giving some energy, so electron will get pushed. So the more number of the more energy we will give, the more number of covalent bond will get broken down, and the more number of electrons will get generated. So the mobility itself will increase. But if we increase the temperature if we make the temperature at very high, then again the lattice vibration will take place. All the lattice points, all the immobile charge carriers which are bound to the crystal structure, they will start their vibrational motion, and of course the electron will face more number of collisions within the crystal. Then of course they will get slowed down, and obviously the mobility will also get slowed down. So there is a curve between the mobility and temperature, that is if we plot log of temperature here, if we plot log of mu here, then we can see that the curve at first rises, and it follows peak, then there is a peak, and after that if we apply high temperature, then the lattice scattering or the lattice vibrational motion start occurring, and of course the mobility also get decreased that time. So at first charge carrier increment, and this fall is for lattice vibration. So there is a relation. This is not very important, but yes, so this is more or less about everything about mobility of charge carriers within a semiconductor. So if you have any doubt about any point that I have discussed in this video, you can ask me in the comment section. I will try to solve your problem. I will try to solve the doubt that you are facing. So thank you very much. Take care and bye bye.